So, Ivan, I have signed up for Entrepreneur Magazine.
Ooh.
So they're going to start sending me copies of things with my goal of reading more.
Right, straight back.
Do you read Popular Science?
Yes.
Is that a good
Yes.
A good thing to sign up
Mark
for?
loves that magazine.
No, it's Popular Mechanics
Oh.
that he loves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Popular Mechanics has been kind of a favorite of guys that are mechanically inclined sometimes for as long as I can remember.
What's
It used
the-
to be thick magazine like that, and the fun part was looking at all the ads in the back.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, as
What-
well as some of the stuff.
What's the one that Mark's reading? Is it just Science magazine?
Scientific American.
Is that what it is?
That's the one you get, isn't it, Ivan?
Yeah, Scientific American.
Oh man, Shelby, it's got some cool pictures, you
Yeah.
guys, of galaxies, and there's our galaxy is oblong.
Mhm.
They've got a beautiful picture of a round one. It's insane. It's
Yeah,
insane.
see,
Picture
I
or
think
drawing?
I think it's just a
Picture.
window. There's a
Through the
window.
telescope.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
window. I think you're
They get
Yeah,
pretty
you're right.
good at that
hard to
with
tell.
the,
So okay.
Say hi to the Hyman Files real quick. Hello, everybody.
hello, everybody.
Shelby.
Hello.
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 Hello, welcome to 2024. Happy New Year, and welcome to the Ivan Files.
The Ivan Files.
Yeah, 2024, yeah.
Can you believe you made it to 2024?
No,
Yeah, me neither. I mean, not that you made it. I'm surprised I made it, but I'm glad you're surprised you made it too, because we're in the
Oh,
same
yeah.
boat there, same
Yeah.
camp.
you bet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm 90, so, 2024,
yeah.
we're going to make it till 2055.
Oh God.
Yes.
30 years,
Oh
right?
God.
30 years.
120.
Yeah.
So, Dad, I have a quick question. Are you done with that, Shelby?
I just wanted to figure out if I should sign up for another magazine subscription, which you've kind of given me indication that the science one is kind of the way to go, because I kind of like that techie AI
American.
move forward. I'm doing entrepreneurs, so anything tech or science related that also kind of ties into businesses would be cool, but that's such a specific niche that
Yeah.
I don't know.
Scientific American's pretty good about that, but there are other science magazines that have more to deal with, do you want to start a business and all that sort of stuff.
Didn't you subscribe to just recently to the magazine World Flatulence of the Elderly?
What?
Didn't realize that was a market. I hadn't heard that one yet.
Neither.
No.
Yeah.
Has Kelly been? Have you been the editor? Are you
I should be
notes
because
from the
I've
editor,
noticed it's
or-
a thing as walking happens throughout the house, and I'm not sure people even realize it's happening, and that's okay. It was a joke. There is no magazine called that, but we could
I
write
know
one.
it.
You never know, there probably is.
It probably
Somewhere
is.
on the dark web, it probably
Yeah,
exists.
So here's what's happened. We've come full circle, Ivan, because we used to get magazines. And everybody's like, you have phones, why would you ever need a magazine?
Yeah.
And now I realize that if I'm on my phone, there's no way I'm actually reading what I should be. So now I need a physical magazine to actually read the article. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
It's
As
like
well
a
as-
tangible
It helps.
representation of it being in front of you.
Makes
You
a
know what I mean?
difference.
It does.
We're gonna
Yeah.
start having the Seattle Times delivered to us once a week for $2 a week. So that's kind of coming.
Cool.
Yeah,
$2 a week.
$2 a week for a Sunday magazine.
Oh, Sunday magazine.
Or I think that's what it is. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Usually
Anyway,
$5, yeah.
what are
Yeah.
you staring at me for? Stupid?
So we've completely derailed your episode today. Did
Go ahead.
you come with a plan, or are we just totally taking you off the rails, Ivan? Are we ruining this for you?
I know.
Okay, good.
We're talking
Good,
about
good, good.
Sufis today, aren't we, Dad?
Yeah, well, I wanted to talk about, Sufis will be in there somewhere.
On the couch.
Yeah, like what do you expect for the year ahead?
So much,
Yeah,
so much.
one thing. What's one thing? Remember that movie? One thing?
One thing.
One thing.
That's
One
a movie
thing.
called One Thing.
Well, no, it was,
I forgot what it was about.
what's his name? The other guy, yeah. He
the other
was
guy.
cowboy,
John Wayne.
no, Jack Palance.
Oh, I love me some Jack
Oh,
Palance.
wow, yeah.
Oh, he's so good in the one with Billy Crystal. And, what is his name
City
in that
Slickers.
movie? City Slickers. What's his name in that movie?
Oh, his name
Yeah.
is, oh,
Yeah.
that's a good trivia
It's
question.
a
Yeah.
good trivia question.
Yes.
I'm so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Anyway, what's the one thing?
Yeah, what is one thing? You
One
got
thing
one
for
thing?
2024.
One thing.
Mine's easy.
That's not really a going to do something, but just what's your expectation of one thing? It could include what you're going to do as well. But
One thing.
No.
For me, it's just
Sit.
evolve.
No.
Evolving. 2024 is going to be a big year of like me changing as a person. And part of that was like 2023 and going through some health issues, and 2024 being a new year,
Yeah.
and analyzing my personal and business life, and kind of saying things need to change. And that doesn't mean what I'm doing does not work, but what it does mean is that things could evolve into a different being.
yeah,
So that's my 24, which is kind of a tough thing to swallow because we're 5 days in, and I'm like, it hasn't changed yet. What happened?
yeah, right.
I think that's the biggest struggle.
But be careful about analyzing too much because you'll get in a whirlpool and you'll lose what you were after in the first place.
Well said.
Yeah.
Non-action is an action.
What about you, sir?
Well, it kind of goes, I kind of go to what you just alluded to is don't think too much into it, right? Every year, like everybody else, I do the same thing. It's like, okay, here's what I'm going to do this year.
Yeah.
You know, about a month in, it's like, poof, gone, at least for
Yeah.
me. I'm
Yeah.
it's hard for me to really get on that train and stick with it for more than a month, depending on what it is. But this one I think I could tackle because it's a mental thing. It's like,
Yeah.
I, as my sister knows, overthink way too many things and worry about too many things, what other people think about me and mine. And I think I could deal with a lot of my own internal stress if I would change that. And
Part
I
of
know
that-
that you would be the right guy to talk to about that
Yes.
because of your work background. So I'm bouncing those ideas around in my head, and it's just a matter of setting your sights on it and sticking to it and doing it. It's just a matter of doing it and finishing it. Set a goal and finish it. Don't set ridiculous goals, but set goals that you can achieve,
Yeah.
and then set another one, and then set another one.
Yeah, and just be
Yeah.
constantly setting goals.
At least reach out and touch it before you completely grok it. You know what grok means?
No,
Oh, I thought you would know.
Grok? No.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
It was a term by, I can't remember his name, but the name of the book was A Stranger in a Strange Land.
oh,
And I'm trying to remember his name. Anyway, he used the term, and instead of incorporating it, he used the term grok. And that's where grok came from, was that particular thing.
huh, interesting.
Yeah. I got a question for you. Let's see, if I say there are three things, at least three things, that we were kind of asked to do, and I wonder how that sits. Of course, you know, you don't make the world spin, so, or do you? Maybe you do, yeah. And that's, the three things are, you gotta love God, okay, one. Two is to love your brothers, that's men and women, to love your fellow man.
Yeah, but that hurts my feelings because I'm not a brother.
And
So,
third thing, which we haven't talked about very much yet, is that from this new translation and so on, what our job was to do when we were put here was to create the Eden. That there was an Eden, and it kind of disappeared with all the baloney going on with the early people there, and so but that was what we're supposed to do. We're imagers, and we're supposed to do that sort of thing. So it's just a comment about
What if
what should come up in the world, you know.
what if that first one, love God,
Yeah.
what if that opened more? Let me get more specific. I think that because of our, I'll say, I don't know if it's society is the right word or not, but because of
Culture.
maybe because of our culture, you know, there's only one way to love God, right? And and God's this thing up there that gave Jesus Christ his son, right? And all that. What if we were accepting of how people love God as long as they were seeking out whatever God is? Because I'm inclined to, you know, I love to pray, but I don't know if I'm praying to someone or the powers around me. I think that there's energy, and I'm a God lover, but I think that God is energy, God is breath, God is, look unto the face of the person you love, and it is there that you will see God, right? So does that necessarily mean that there's a God, you know what I mean? If you don't believe in the book like God, that there still isn't God. People are struggling with that, Dad.
Right.
People are struggling with what God is and is there something next.
Right.
Instead, we should open it up to them so that they feel more accepted when they just say, well, I don't know if I don't not believe in God, but I don't believe in the God that I've known for 250 years through the American book. You know what I mean? Even though the Bible is not American, right? It's been changed so many times. And after you have children, you believe in something. You have to. After you go through a health scare, both of you have been through a health scare, you believe in something. When you're feeling down and out and you're feeling frustrated, you believe in something, or you give up.
Yeah.
So what if we were to have a more accepting society of what people translate as God? Am I being at all articulate
Yeah,
on
no,
what I'm
you're
trying
just-
to say?
Just write that down, and we'll put it in our new religion.
Okay.
There you go.
New church?
We have talked about starting a church
Oh, really?
because of the tax breaks.
Because of the tax
Oh.
break. Gotcha.
Why wouldn't we?
Praise be
Yeah.
to he and the pocketbook.
Praise
Yes.
be to he and the account over 10 grand.
Well, yeah, that's a whole
But I think we struggle there.
kettle of fish. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
If-
teaching
if-
my grandchildren,
If
and then,
money is the root of all evil, how come they ask for it at church?
oh, yeah, that's a hell of a good question.
Well, I understand
Got him!
the Jewish people have a way of handling that,
Jewish people have such a beautiful religion.
and what they do is they throw it up in the air, and whatever God wants, He'll take.
That's pretty good.
Absolutely.
And then they get the rest of it.
And they get whatever he doesn't want.
So with 5 of my grandchildren, actually, I have 2 bonus grandchildren too, your 2.
Bonus.
Yeah, I have, I have 9, but then I have 2 more.
Yeah.
11. But I have told them all that, you know, like when an animal passes away or something like that, or if somebody, like Uncle Norm passed away, they were having a hard time wrapping their brain around that. I tell
I
them,
do too.
and yeah, I tell them, you just have to go out and look at the trees. And you have to just watch a tree, even on a still day. The tree will move. And if you connect your energy to that tree, that is God. So it puts it into a perspective they can understand as opposed to a book that none of us can understand.
No.
You're
True.
talking about psychic energy, and we're gonna deal with that quite a bit here as we go ahead. The difference between psychic energy and real world stuff that you can see, handle, touch, all that sort of thing. And what you're talking about is psychic energy, which goes to the depths of our souls, the depth of our being, and stuff like that. And some people would say we're all full of baloney, and
And the rich would say spam.
They wouldn't be wrong.
yeah.
The rich people are full of spam. We're full of baloney.
Yeah, full of baloney. It's only the Italians, isn't it? No, that's not right, is it? Baloney.
Baloney is like,
I'm pretty
it's
sure.
made of chicken lips and assholes, basically.
Oh, okay.
It's like a flat hot dog.
No, Italians are full of rigatoni.
Rigatoni.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, yeah, I'm corrected there. Yeah.
Anyway,
So back to your list here. Love God, love thy brother, and then creation of Eden.
Yeah.
Number 3. What does that mean? What is Eden at its essence?
Okay, that's what we have to find out. Eden is, Genesis has a whole lot of information in it if you read it properly. And it's in Genesis that humans were created, and talked about this tree of life. If you touch that tree of life, you'll be instantly dead. That didn't happen. They both touched it. There's a lot of things that I'm reading or listening to. Alan Dershowitz, you've heard of him. He's a pretty famous lawyer.
Attorney.
Anyway, he did a series of 6 tapes on how our justice system has developed from very early. The Genesis, there's a lot of things in Genesis, and he even points out how some of the discussion back and forth, and God didn't always hold up his end of the bargain.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. But that all kind of comes through on this new book I'm reading, and maybe he's full of baloney, but I don't think so. And a retranslation of the Septuagint translation of the Bible, and it's hard reading, but it's very, very interesting. You find out things that you never thought of before. Anyhow, that's.
Is Dershowitz referring to law and law of the land and the law of the justice of our country or our political system? Has he talked at all about religious influence into the direction of
It's all
the law of
religious
this
influence.
country?
It's the Jewish influence
Okay.
that comes from.
I mean, do you find that, do you disagree or do you agree, or do you carry the way whether our justice system is or is not influenced by a particular religion?
Oh, I think it is. Absolutely it is. This whole country, even though it gets denied sometimes, is based on a Judeo-Christian principles.
Like
Pretty
thou
much.
shalt not steal, shalt not covet my wife, shalt not kill,
Yeah,
those kinds of Ten Commandment-ish things,
yeah.
right?
And even
does it
though-
say thou shalt not covet my wife? I need to look up covet because
well,
I mean,
you
it sounds dirty.
You don't want to get her.
You don't want to get her?
You don't want to.
Sounds
You
dirty.
don't want to have her.
That does.
You just keep your mind off of that woman. That's
See,
what
I
you
want my
do.
husband to covet me then.
Yeah.
I want a
Yeah.
lot of coveting.
for you, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
so
your
you're right, I
husband,
left a
actually.
key word out.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Covet my neighbor's wife.
Neighbor's wife.
You're right.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. I
shall
want
not
Mark to
covet my
covet
wife.
me as much as possible.
That is hilarious.
Let the coveting begin, baby.
Wait.
Here to covet.
But to continue, there's a spot in Genesis where, and I have to say Yahweh because that's what the term was used then, and there was a God that was in charge of him too. But they heard him walking in the garden in Eden. And the whole idea is, where the heck was Eden? And they've tried to locate it, between the 2 rivers, 3 rivers, all that sort of stuff. They haven't done a very good job of it. And so Eden may not be a earthly thing. It may be something that could be on earth. And that humans were created to develop Eden on this planet. And so, are we doing a very good job of it, do you think?
Well, is Eden a place or is it an idea?
Well, it's an idea, but it turns out to be a place.
Because, like, most days, my Eden would be wherever Mark Schenfeld is, and it could be here in the yard, it could be, when we're coveting, it could be,
Yeah.
No, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my Eden, is where he is.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
You have a thinking look about you, Shelby.
Could it be in the eye of the beholder?
Yeah.
Could it be a personal feeling for each and every one of us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to pin down, right? Because, I mean, the interpretation of Genesis could mean so many things, especially in hindsight. Is it a physical location? Is it a grander idea? I think you take the themes of the Bible, and a lot of it is these more grandiose ideas. It's not necessarily like tangible items that are playing out. It's more of the swelling idea and the underlying themes below it. So it feels to me that it's more of could it be a physical location?
Yeah.
Totally. But more often than not, that could be interpreted as something much more like a person or a place that you find comfort in. I find it interesting that, like, number 3 being the creation of Eden really speaks to, like, the purpose of the human, of man,
Yeah.
right? How
Yeah.
do you create your own luscious garden, if you will, right?
What?
Garden?
Oh,
Yeah, your own garden or whatever the case may be. So it's I don't know, it's a lot to unpack. There's a lot of stuff that remains to be in black and white, but it's interesting that you break those into those 3 groups because ultimately everything comes back to that creation of Eden, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll be dealing with
Well, let's spend
more
some
of
time
that
there.
as
And then
as
greed
the year
gets in the
progresses.
way.
Yeah.
Greed.
And
Greed shows up and
Greed is the
ruins
serpent.
everything.
Greed is the serpent.
Capitalism at its best.
Yeah.
By the way, that wasn't a snake.
Yeah, it wasn't a snake, Dad says.
No, it wasn't a
The
snake.
serpent.
It's a, what do they call it? A kosh? It was a creature. That was, we'd have to talk about divine and human and the mixture of things too in order to get to the serpent, who was somebody who was probably in the ground, may still be there.
Might still be.
Yeah, they might pop their heads up one day and say, "Okay, guys." Who knows?
Experiment over. Restart.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Well-
other thing I want to bring up over time is the Sufis. Anybody know what the Sufis are?
Not beyond what you've kind of explained to
Yeah.
us.
I won't go very far with it, but it's Sufi. The single most important thing to understand about Sufism is that they do not approach God through another person. For instance, in Israelis, it was through Jesus, that whole thing. But it's something that you don't approach God that way. And I wonder what the hell I was talking about.
Sufis.
It's okay. You know what? This has been a good podcast, and I think that we should probably, because people only watch for X amount of time anyway. So let's
14
hit.
seconds.
Yeah, no. Let's hit the Sufis next week, and let's continue to talk
Yeah.
about the Genesis a little bit, because I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, well, I can. I've read
Yeah.
quite a bit about it, and the translation and so on. And it's important, I think, to.
So give us one thought to take this podcast home with. We're going to wrap this up.
Or like, what is your one thing for 2024?
Yes.
Not so easy, is it, Ivan?
One thing, probably to focus on one thing. I'm a kind of a dilettante in some ways. I got there's tons of books. Well, so what? There's tons of books, but you can think of a lot of different things and come up with a lot of different ideas and so on. So I need to kind of collapse that a little bit so I can get on with life here, which I am, but also I wanna develop this what we've been talking about this morning. I want to develop that into something to talk about.
Well, we're along for the ride.
And, maybe we'll go around talking about it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that.
But anyway, we'll see you folks next week.
Yes, we will.
From the Crab Rustler to your screen. See you next week.
We'll see you in the garden.
See you in the gardens.
In the garden. Yeah.
See you,
Nice job, Dad.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Different things to think about, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about you because I just finished playing